welcome. We are live. You are watching Tracks and Tactics with myself, Big Screw Up, aka Scully, and three good men. Yeah, that's all you need in life. Yeah, my kingdom for three good men and a few horses. Let's start on the top left of my screen in the orange Netherlands top right now. Introduce yourself, sir.
Shout out to Kia Keys. Baby, and that promo rollout was strong. We're still, it's a strong promo rollout when the clothing becomes part of your everyday wear. So big him up. Obviously, Robert Bruce in the building. All things interviews. It's been a good week. We're back again. United 3-1. This is what we do. It's calm. It's casual. We don't even talk about it too much.
We're not here to talk about
it too much. I'm the only one representing United today, so I've got to give it.
Podcast.
It was just about your introduction. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So that's gonna come, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in due time. The regular there, do-rag on, beard looking luscious as always.
Thank God. We thank God. It's me, Relic the Don, aka I wear my own garms, aka light-eyed monster. AKA hide your girl when the sun's out. Can I take it? No, I'm joking. Man's about, innit? Man's about drinking wine. Film me, I'm good.
This is post roller skating relic.
Yeah, the endorphins
relic,
are lying in my body right
different.
now.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's how he be feeling. And my bottom left, last but definitely not least, my good bro, the Winter Soldier to my Falcon. It is introduce yourself.
Wait, did you say that's nice. You called yourself Falcon. That's good.
The cogs were turning in my head. I was thinking,
is that this?
Is that fair? Is that quietly?
Look at you guys. Look how quick you were.
No, but if you call man Falcon, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Falcon.
It is right, because what's it they say in it? We're partners, but we're not friends.
Yeah,
we're not,
we're
we're co-workers.
Yeah.
We get shit done. Yeah, don't overstretch it.
Say your name then, sir.
Joe Walker, presenter, Palace fan, previous guest.
Honorary guest.
You're
recurring.
Exactly.
You're basically extended family. If this is the dad and the brothers, you are the uncle that comes around every Sunday.
Yeah. Or you're the cousin that all the cousins want to see. So when Joe's about, all the cousins are happy. And
Joe is like that. The uncle role sounds like, I'm way older, which I'm not, but also that I'm having to slip you fivers and tenors like under the table.
That is true. Did you man have that uncle? Did you have that uncle that would just always give you cash?
What? My uncle went on piss.
No, I have that uncle still. I haven't seen him in like 15 years, so
I have a few aunties. I had a few uncles I was really, really close with. So big up my uncle. Okay. Bare love.
Fair play.
But we should get straight to it. And let's start, I guess, in the order of the games today, because it was a Sunday.
The Palace.
And I want to get this out of the way. I want to get this out of the way as soon as possible. Let's just talk about that abysmal Arsenal performance.
Hit me with it, because I didn't catch a lot of it, man. So talk to me.
Do you know what it is? It's I don't want to cuss the players too tough. I blame the players more than anything because they were very toothless. But it just shows our lack of squad depth because we obviously played not our strongest team. And in all fairness, the offside that we were given was it was very tightly offside. I wouldn't have called that offside. I feel like if I was a ref and I watched that on tape, I would have been like, no, that was not.
The FA hate Arsenal, so
that is literally
this is another one of them decisions.
Yeah, it's literally the fourth game this season where I've seen an officiating decision go against us enough to cost us 3 points. And we had two instances of offside goals today, and obviously it's not good enough. We should just score more goals. You can argue about for example, why was Pepe dropped? He's been in a run of form. It seems like every time he plays for us, he gets a goal and assist, but he doesn't start when it comes to the Prem game.
And Arteta goes in his press conference talking a lot of nonsense. Oh, Pepe is very well. And this and that. Go and look, because there's so much Scrabble words in there for no reason. Just fuck off, Arteta, man. He has no philosophy. He just chats shit, man. Fuck off.
You can argue with the manager's decisions. You can argue that the players are toothless. I personally never want to see Elneny start a game again for Arsenal.
Ooh, really?
Bro, he's such a sideways passer. I remember I was watching that game, yeah, and I saw him try and pass forward 4 times. None of those passes like were
I remember the
finished.
one to Bellerin. Oh
Passes.
my god, it was
Yeah,
horrible.
and it was at the point that he was annoyed. Like you could see him in
Yeah.
his face, yeah, like the pass didn't complete, and he's like, oh fuck. Like
Do
you can see that.
you remember that? Yeah. Do you remember when you're younger, you're playing games and like you can't get past the level, and you just want to end up smashing the PlayStation?
Bro,
is that how he's playing football?
Yeah, we just hit the triangle out of his pads though.
Yeah, so
Goodness.
you know, Elneny definitely can never do a single pivot anyway. Don't know what's up with that. That was a madness.
Did Elneny start just out of rotation purposes, or was someone in?
Yeah. His rotation.
Okay.
So Party, I'm assuming Party, Pepe. I want to say who else was rested? Odegaard.
Right.
Was Odegaard on the bench? I was shocked not to see him.
Injured.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well gone.
This is the problem when teams are in Europe and then they have that. At best, you might get 3-4 days, especially if you're Europa League and you got to play on a Sunday. That's still not that much time, and a manager will always go. I'll pick my battles, and let me. He probably thought Arteta was like, "Us Fulham, like they play similar style to us in theory. I'll just rest a few players, and we'll just be better than them." But when it doesn't work, when it doesn't pull off, it looks stupid. But it happens to everybody.
Relegated.
It happens to no. Probably now after not mathematically, but they will be after that.
Yeah,
but,
like they needed those 3 points.
Liverpool, Man City all have bad results after like a European week when they've only got 2-3 days to. It's happens to everyone. No one can play the full team again.
And I didn't want to cast his selection because, like Joe was saying, it's quite obvious what he was doing. He thought, yo, like, I need to rest my team. We've got a good chance of having a good Europa League run. If we beat Villarreal, we can make it to the final. And you know, it's obvious he's hedged his bets on that. So it was clear that like Bellerin started. It's been time since Bellerin started. Like,
I was shocked to see Bellerin. What's he just not been getting selected?
Yeah, he's not good enough. This is essentially Arteta saying like, yo, Fulham are us. This is the B team. We should beat them with the B team. But apparently they can't even do that. So I understand Relic's annoyances, but I think there's so much of a combination of players not playing well enough. I haven't said
my annoyances yet. That's the joke.
You've already cast Arteta, players not being good enough, and I think just being toothless and us not having enough squad depth, and plus bad officiating, it all adds up. And we're going to talk about bad officiating when we talk about the United game as well, but we'll wait for that one. Relic, go.
Should have won, didn't win. It's ridiculous calls, shit offsides.
But is it offside though? I think offside's one of them ones that's not debatable.
It wasn't offside. VAR, it's so stupid. But anyway, fucking Martinelli had a good game. He should have scored twice, but he didn't. He needs to learn how to do a step over because it's very annoying now. I'm tired of seeing and then he run to the byline and he's like, all right, what do I do? Big man, do a step up, try and get around the player. Like, he'll just go back. Like, you're a dickhead. Just like you can tell like he's defo a striker. He's not a winger because when he's on the wings, he doesn't seem too comfortable. He's good at dribbling, he's good at taking on the man, but when it tried to go past him and do a little drop, you can't do it, which is annoying.
Nah, I think he can. I think he was the most exciting person. I think we had.
Of course he was, but that's you're saying that he's the most exciting. Like this is like saying there's a red skill and a ball for the grey. Like it's not that deep. Like, it wasn't that exciting. Like he's done well, but he should have 2 minutes in, he almost scored, and it was very good. But he had a good game.
Saka did his thing as usual.
Saka played well. I really like seeing Emil Smith Rowe in that 8 pivot box to box with another 8. I do like seeing him play that position. It's good. He plays well there, combined it with Saka very well. We played. Is a fidget spinner. He needs to get out of the club. Tobias is a fidget spinner. And he needs but so Party.
No, but Party actually makes stuff happen.
No, like, I hear you, but there's too many a time where Party's got on the ball and he's like, I should pass it now. All right, I'm gonna pass it now.
Nah, but Tobias is,
and then he passes it and someone's there.
Tobias's effectiveness compared to Party's is not. It's not the same. You can't really compare them. Like Tobias is like, he's arse, man. And when it comes to squad depth, to get off Arsenal quickly, people are talking about who we should sell and all of this, yeah. And I'm looking at the man we sent on loan, yeah, and I'm just like, yo, like, where are the people who are on our team now, yeah, whether they're loanees or whether they're side players, they need to fucking cut, because you can't tell me Ceballos gets on this team and Elneny gets on this team, yeah, and Willock is worse than that, because he's actually not. Like, he's actually not.
Talk to your manager, bro. Talk to your fave, Arteta. Talk to him. That fucking.
But I can understand why
does he do that though? Why does he pick them over? Like,
because he's a clown, Rob. There's no listen. He's dumb. You say Ollie is just vibes. Arteta's really vibes, but with like a pep sticker. Like he's not good, bro.
I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what it is. It makes sense. Willock is young. He's what, like 22, 23, yeah, 20, and he does. See, even younger, and he doesn't have bags of experience, yeah. So Bias is a guy who won Spain at under 24s tournament, yeah, or under 23, sorry, and he plays for Real Madrid. On paper, he should be a good midfielder, yeah. And then you watch him, you do the eye test, and you're like, this guy is fucking ass. Like he's actually cheeks. So it's like, I understand if you said at the start of the season, which of the two are you keeping, Willock or Ceballos? Every time I'm telling you, Ceballos. But now I've done the eye test all season. I'm like, fucking hell, this Ceballos guy should not be at my club. And the same as like Maitland now, even though I don't think he's the greatest guy ever, I think he's a good squad player because of the fact that he loves the club, yeah, and he can play like 4 or 5 different positions. I genuinely would have rather had Willock and Maitland Niles playing in the midfield today than Ceballos and Elneny. Because at least they're young enough, yeah. Willock is young enough that if he makes a mistake that Ceballos makes, I'm like, you're learning. And with Maitland Niles,
hold on. Where's this? Oh, you're learning. Where's this energy when it comes to Saliba playing centre back? I don't like Saliba, the way that Scully picks and shoots. I was going to say Xhaka. And when a young player shouldn't.
One minute is he's young with the social media. You can't deal with the social media.
This is not what you're saying. Hold on.
It's okay because he can make a mistake. When it comes to Saliba, that can't happen. You are a hypocrite, my guy.
Can you hear me out? With Saliba, I never wanted that. I always thought he was ready. I'm saying I understand why he's not played for the reasons I said. Like I think he's ready, yeah. But I can understand how you can be at Arsenal and be the manager and be the assistant manager and all of this, Steve Bold, all of them, man, and be like, maybe not. He's only 20. Let's send him on loan and wait for him to be ready. I can totally understand that. I'm not saying it's a decision I would have made, but it makes sense. Like I said, I understand why he sent Willock on loan. I'm not saying it was the right decision, but I get it. Yeah, like the decisions that I think are not right are stuff like, I don't know, bringing in Ceballos again, starting on any, like stuff like that is stuff that is not right, innit? Like, and it's
actually mad.
It is what it is.
All the names that you rolled off in those couple minutes, right? All the heads that you want to roll or sell in the summer are all the senior names. Not all of them are starting necessarily, but it's everyone that's like played over 50 games for Arsenal. Everyone under that is who you're looking to for hope. And I respect it, and I actually see it when I see you guys play, like at Smith Rowe, for example. Like you see that these players are not just, kids you're going to have to rely on a little bit. They're actually like pulling you out of the mire in a few games as well.
Yeah. But I think Arteta's clocked that as well. I think
a lot of those
teams rely on. Yeah,
exactly. A manager who's under pressure is probably not embarrassed. That's too strong. But it's like, I can't lean on young players that much this soon. But when the alternative is still like you're not winning games, it's like between a rock and a hard place. I just think you should just go for it because the alternative is what is happening now.
Well, he came out and said the other day about Emil Smith Rowe and Saka about how we don't want to rely on them, but that's the reality now.
He's admitted he's embarrassed by it, and I get it because as much as you're saying Relic, you just take the gamble. Yeah, I don't think you're deep in that. Like Joe's saying, if you're a manager, if I'm a hardback manager and I need to get results in the Premier, it's a lot for me to say, yo, I'm gonna gamble it on Balogun, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, like a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds. Like it's a very big gamble.
I can't lie, Scully. We've come from the era of seeing young players put Arsenal on their back. So why? When United and Arsenal were doing that, because United and Arsenal, both teams that have done that.
Them League Cup teams.
And also on top of that, it was also still a gamble, and everyone said Ferguson and Wenger were crazy for it. They're just like, yo, what the hell are you two doing?
Like Januzaj worked for a season. Wilshere worked, Fabregas worked, Nasri was mad young, he worked. Like
there's a lot they didn't know.
Like who?
Yeah, there's been a lot that
Ali,
Who remembers Makeda? Makeda scored twice.
Yo.
Those players got a lot of games like that flop era. Well, this is now Arsenal's flop era, but the older flop era when you were relying on a Bentner. And it was great to have him there as a backup, but like you over relied on him for a little bit. Yeah, he played way more games than I realized for Arsenal.
Yeah,
but it's not the hit rate is always going to be choppy. But at the moment with Arsenal, you're not blooding in 3 or 4. You're blooding in like a whole team. Like
not a whole team. It's just Smith Rowe.
Bro, it's about 5. It's about 5.
And Saka, Gabriel's in there.
Martinelli. But Tierney's 24, you know. If you're under 25, you're young footballer.
You want
Tierney's experience, though.
You want Saliba back.
We want Balogun starting. Bro, that is a team.
I don't want Balogun
Reece Nelson coming back. Is he still
there?
Where
is Reece Nelson?
Where's Reece Nelson? Is he away or is he
He's not on loan. He's been playing.
He's on TikTok, bro. He's on TikTok.
I don't know where he is, bro. You don't make
He's on TikTok, bro. He's on TikTok. That's where
DMs, bro.
So it's mad because I understand RELLIK because you know me, I'm actually a massive believer in Haaland and I know the boys have the talent. But at the same time, if I'm a manager, it is a massive gamble to be like, yo, I played 9 under 24-year-olds and the only senior players are going to be Louise and the keeper.
Shall I tell you what? Someone who believes in themselves and believes in their system and believes in transferring their message over would do it.
Yeah,
because it's clear that the young players are pulling you guys through. Just like
I'm
Greenwood.
not playing Willian just because he's 34. That's dumb.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
just
ridiculous.
because he's got experience.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Like, sometimes
you got to think about as well.
Can we not talk about Willian for this evening? Thank you.
Sorry, go on, Joe. Sorry, go
on.
But
you think about let's say there's a world where Arteta is taking all of this on board and is like, if I could just click my fingers and there was no consequences, I would do all of this. Because in theory, it's like, well, what else have you got to lose? Because but I think the problem
season
I think the problem is not the season; it's Monday to Friday at the training ground. Do you know how toxic that could get really quickly if you bomb out the clicks or you make people not even training with the kids, just like these men over here, the big boys, the top earners, and they're not playing. That is cancerous in the Monday to Friday, and that would more likely be like
that's true.
If Arteta fell on his own sword and played all the kids and they finished around this same sort of position, but you saw the vision, he would probably keep his job. If he dropped all the senior players, they would be straight to the ownership. Like, come on, we're top players, and you know that.
I'm telling you this summer when it hits June 1st, go and call your agent and find another team. I don't care.
And that is what's going to happen. And that will be what happens. But I just know now.
I'm so ruthless, blood. Man, I have a great season. I'll sell him. I don't care.
It will be what happens, and it will be one of the best things that happens to you, generally. But I think right now, if those players go to an owner who doesn't pay attention and is like, look, we're all your top earners because, that in theory means we're your best players, and we're not even getting involved. What's this manager? He doesn't know what he's talking about. And you get a lot of that player revolt stuff, and he would be out on his backside. So it's tough.
Got for you guys, though, is Arteta the right man to bring through the youth?
There's no one else. Who else is there? Who?
I think he is. And I get why people are frustrated about Arteta. I think depending on how the first 4 months of next season goes, he's on last chance saloon. Like if we start next season, how this season started, he's got to go by Christmas. Like we can't keep going.
Yeah, you got to go by Christmas still.
As much as I like him, we can't risk another season like that.
You know, there is one candidate. There is one managerial candidate that most recently brought in several players.
If you say Roy Hodgson
into an established Premier League team,
say Roy Hodgson, I'm kicking you off the stream.
Roy Hodgson don't play young players.
Okay.
Who most recently put several youngsters at once into an established Premier League team and got them top 4. Frank Lampard's available, guys.
Oh, relax. It's
proven.
Actually, saying that though, me and I was dashing the group chat randomly, just as a random thought. I said, I said, Scully, what? Are you taking Gerrard if Arteta goes?
Yeah.
He said yes.
Yeah, I 5,000.
Everyone would take Gerrard outside the top four right
I said no.
Except that, obviously, that's because the rivalry bullshit. But yeah,
we have watched Gerrard do madness with Rangers. Like you see with Arteta, yeah. Every now and again, I watch an Arsenal game and I'm like, I can see, even though Relic said he's just vibes, yeah, I don't believe it's just vibes. Like I could see the other day with Slavia Prague, the system and the shape he was working with.
It's Slavia racism Prague.
Yeah, but I still see, bro, those guys popped Rangers and Leicester. Yeah. So
with racism,
it doesn't matter. We'll play and they popped them, bro. Like they knocked them out of the Europa League. So let's not act like Slavia Prague are us, because they're not as bad as we make out now that we beat them. But with Gerrard, you proper see it. Like every Rangers game I've watched this season, I'm like, yo, these guys are so well coached and well drilled. Like I see it. I believe in Gerrard.
So peak that he's going to Liverpool though.
Yeah, he's not coming to Arsenal. He's waiting until Klopp is done and he's coming to Liverpool.
Apparently, they've arranged their contracts like that. Like I think Gerrard's contract and Klopp's contract expire at the same time.
Klopp signed his contract to end in 2024, and then literally next day, Gerrard signed his again for Rangers.
Yeah. So
he's done. By the way, he's also done that at Rangers. Obviously, we've seen Celtic dominate how they have.
Yeah.
Rangers have got, because of what happened to Rangers, they're not actually back where they were however many years back. They're still operating on like I wouldn't go say half the budget, but like they're a few steps down still from Celtic's budget per year. And let's be honest, although we like to pretend it's not part of the football analysis and stuff, if you match up like teams' wage budgets or their wage spend with where they finish in the table, it tends to be in order. So to do that, not just to break that cycle, but to do it as comprehensively. They won the title like 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been done for time.
Like, just since then.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying they'll take Gerrard as a manager.
100%.
Joe, as a Palace fan, I'm sure you would love if they were like, if he had one more season at Rangers and they said, hey, I wanted to get some Prem experience, I'm sure you would leap at that chance.
Of course. I think there's a lot of clubs outside the top six or whatever who the options available to at the moment are like to all of those teams, unless you go abroad, are like Eddie Howe, Chris Wilder, and then you're like, then what else? And you're gonna have to go try for a younger, exciting appointment. And if Gerrard was happy to go to that level, you'd be stupid not to put an offer in. But
Would you take Arteta?
Not above. I don't know. If he wanted it that badly, I'd hear it out. But because it can't be.
Would you take him over Roy?
He's a trophy winner. I think you guys are doing a bit of a disservice.
It's the truth. We're not doing that no more.
It's the truth, though. It's the truth.
We're not doing that no more.
Last week.
He won the McDonald's Community Shield.
He's a half
trophy winner. He did not win that.
Community Shield.
Is that no FA Cup? I was claiming FA Cup.
Talk about the FA Cup that Emery basically.
Emery got
how many FA Cup
Emery played 3 of like when we were playing the fucking League 2 teams. Don't do that. Arteta came in when it was time to actually play the Prem teams. Like when you get to like. I think that is shameless because the teams Emery was playing was literally like Northampton Town.
I think it's shameless to call Arteta a trophy winner, because to be honest, like
but he did what, a quarterfinal, semi-final. He did round 2, 3. Like he did all the hard parts of the FA Cup. That's like saying, like I have to move a bed, and I walk it up the stairs into the room, and then Relic comes and puts the duvet down, and then you better like, 50-50.
But how many games did he play? How many? Because you said a lot of games. You basically said like the whole FA Cup. Then
he played. I don't even know.
He came in. Arteta came in about what, November?
Oh, that's every FA Cup game then.
That's what I'm saying. So he did the majority of the FA Cup.
So if
FA Cup starts in January.
Basically,
it starts in January.
Yeah.
And I think he might have done the whole thing then, because
did he do the whole FA Cup?
I'm sure Emery.
Look how they tried to massacre my boy.
Emery got sacked in December, innit?
Look how they tried to massacre my boy.
How long did you have Ljungberg?
For literally 3 games. 3 games. And it was over like a 2-week period.
Right, okay.
Hey, anyway, man, can we talk about Arsenal now? They're depressing me, man. They're shit.
Yeah,
we're fucking 9.
No, but
we're not going to win Europa.
You guys near it. You need
I think we could
You
still
need
win
this
Europa.
stress
We need
relief.
We're
Europa.
not winning against who?
United. We beat
What,
them every other time.
we're
When was the last time we lost to United?
Gonna be
Last
the
season.
El Evening Classico, yeah, and the 29th of May.
I will not be on Twitter.
If we lose to
Be
Emery,
on Twitter with your chest.
Oh
Listen,
my!
I haven't said too much yet because I just want to get through Roma. If we can get through Roma, because obviously you never know with Man United, I pray we get Arsenal. I think we beat Arsenal as well because there's no other way that we're losing to Arsenal.
Guys, you haven't beat us in 2 years.
If you thought that final in Azerbaijan getting smacked by Chelsea was the most bleak, depressing day in the last few years for an Arsenal fan, imagine a similar watch. You might not even get slapped. It might be a 1-0. Imagine losing to Man United in that final in another empty stadium. That is going to be so bleak.
I hear what you're saying, but I genuinely think Arteta has Ollie's number. Wow. It's been a long time since Arteta actually.
Would you prefer that game over Roma?
Yeah. I rather play Roma, to be honest. I can't lie.
I feel like TV don't watch week in, week out. Yeah, like these men aren't studying them. They're not ready for them. Yeah,
all Prem ties in Europe are nasty to watch.
I don't want to. I
wouldn't enjoy it as a fan either.
For me, as a concept in the summer, you know, Arsenal United, Box Park, Suns out, ain't been outside for whatever.
No,
that will be the best final. And the worst final to ever watch.
It'll be the worst ever.
Win.
Yeah.
If you win, it's the best. If you lose, you have to leave Box Park. You have to go home.
The thing you have to give Arteta credit for,
early, like it's the
early. If it's 80 minutes and it's 2-0, go home.
Yeah, you just
go.
The thing you have to give Arteta credit for, though, is he is actually good at playing the big teams. So I would genuinely rather play United. Yeah, he's beat all of the big teams so far.
He beat Klopp a couple times, but on penalties.
Yeah,
he's beat
Pep. Yeah,
he's beat Pep.
He beat
Pep.
No, he beat him a couple times, bro. So he beat Klopp. He's beat Pep.
Has he beat Ancelotti?
Yes, he has. He's beat Leicester as well. I'm pretty sure we beat Everton. Yeah, we didn't do the double. I think we drew one time, but we beat him.
Okay, and we beat Leicester.
Yeah, we beat Chelsea. We beat we beat all the big teams.
We beat Spurs, Lampard's Chelsea though.
Yeah.
Did we not beat two Chelsea?
And while it was Lampard's Chelsea, while the shit was basically underwater.
Have you played two Chelsea yet?
I think we have.
No, we haven't.
Have we not?
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into that.
But yeah,
let's move on. Let's talk about
I do think you'll be playing a different Man United. And
what's changed, brother? In 2 years,
you lot ain't even making the final. You lot ain't even making the final, by the way.
That's a different question. That's a different question that I'm not prepared to answer right now. But how do you feel about Man United being second in the league? Does it make sense to you?
I don't care.
Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
We know that Bruno Fernandes is an outlier. We know that. It is what it is, isn't it? Bruno Fernandes has stupid stats, shit footballer, but has stupid stats, and it is what it is, isn't it? It just is what it is.
That's it.
That is what it is. It's all Bruno because the niggas behind him ain't doing shit. McTominay and Fred. What kind of partnership is that? You got no right winger. You got
Top Reds are scary. How can you guys be calling for Pogba to roll, to bounce, so you can have a Rice McTominay, a Rice ketchup McSauce midfield?
No, but you know what? Can I speak on their behalf? Yeah. First of all, that never it never makes sense. That never ever makes sense. But people are talking because they've almost consigned to the fact that Pogba's gonna go. So it's not like get rid of him and get Rice. It's like
they're planning for life.
Going. Yeah, he's going. Who should we get in? And when you buy Rice, there's no more McFred anymore. It's just Rice soaking up everything in there. Then you get Donny.
Rice and McSauce, you know, Rice and ketchup. That's what they're asking for.
There's no double pivot. There's no.
Oh, you're gonna have what? Declan as a sole base, and then
Declan is gonna hold. Declan or Basuma is gonna hold up everything.
Oh, so now you don't want Basuma.
They want Basuma. Okay.
Oh, we want
Basuma, and now they want Basuma.
Nah, Arsenal were on this. Bring Basuma to the carpeting.
It's calm because the last two signings they wanted, we got them anyway. So we got Partey and we got Gabriel.
How that work out?
And what are they doing? What are they doing?
Gabriel's playing well, and Partey's, he's adapting.
Yeah, man.
Bruv, wasn't one of you a minute last week saying they weren't too sure about Partey? It was you, Relic.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
That doesn't change the fact we got them over you. Like, When we signed Partey, you remember like, oh, we should have signed Partey. 45 mil release course. It's nothing to us. But you didn't sign.
Yeah, no, but we didn't bid for him. We didn't bid for him.
Yeah,
because you're shook.
Gabriel was a bidding war.
It wasn't a war. He came to Arsenal. There's no war.
Well, I mean, like, there was talk.
There wasn't a war.
He called Pepe. He said, yo. He said, yo. It wasn't Arsenal.
Pepe said, yeah, it's tough here, man. I'm struggling.
Pepe said,
moral support.
It's true. North London's a vibe. I know all the yats are. Come with your new team, my guy.
I asked you guys in the group chat already. Do Arsenal have pulling power next year? When you're finishing 10th and getting dumped at the Europa League final with no European
football. And do you know why? Yeah, because do you know who our top pagans are? Yeah, obviously United, you are top pagans. And today we were hearing Neville and Keane talk about the Super League, yeah, and they spoke about Arsenal with like, what's the word? Hated respect, like begrudging respect. Like Neville was like, nah, like when we talk about the history of football in this country, he goes, it's United, Arsenal, Liverpool.
And Liverpool.
Like, the fact of the matter is, even when we are, but even when we're swag, like, even before Premier League era, don't do that, because we definitely won Premier League.
About Forest and Liverpool is real. Arsenal is
no Forest, Aston Villa. Yeah. We can bring them.
Arsenal's there for the football heritage, because how Wenger revolutionized football partially.
And to
answer your point, though, to answer that question, United is an interesting case study. You think they fell out of Champions League for a couple of years. You can still attract players, but you are going to have to spend dough, because you're basically going, look, in exchange for coming out of Champions League or elite football, we'll give you this extra 20, 30, 40, 50 bags a week, whatever it is now.
And the difference is with Arsenal United, they know you, man, got it. They don't know that we have it. They think we don't have it.
But I don't know if you'll do it after 2 years. You might, that tap might stop.
I hear it still.
But yeah, you're right. In terms of like, a lot of players that you'll see it now of Arsenal. Arsenal are going to sign a lot of players that were fans of Arsenal growing up, and they'll play on that. And you have to in that position. Liverpool did it
young players
in the 90s, and Man United have done it as well. But
Gabriel's young.
At some point, it's going to cost too much money. But
Gabriel's
young. We still got French players in the chokehold for another 5 years, so we got to play.
Do you know? I'm deep in it. Arsenal need a good manager to navigate their way back to the top, because
that's what
this slippery slope is going one of two ways, you know. Before you know it, you're going to become Everton before Ancelotti.
Calm down, sir.
You know, I promise you, it's a slippery slope.
It's Liverpool in the 90s. It's Liverpool in the 90s.
You know?
I hear you. But let's relax, sir.
It's very dangerous.
Let's move on to United. So United play the game.
Yeah. So are you guys understanding? Why
listen, Arsenal shit. Let's move on.
We don't respect you. We don't respect you.
You don't respect it.
Why would we respect that you're second?
This league is terrible. This is the second.
Ever since Corona happened, the league has been pants.
Take your second and hold it. Yeah, we'll see you next season.
You man have an asterisk. Same way Liverpool got asterisks to their trophy. You man got asterisks.
Looking like a competition winner.
Hey, Dean Henderson looking like he works at Romford Market. I don't know what he was doing today. But that's not even Romford, Dagenham Market. I don't know what he was on.
I need to ask you a question, about United. Where do you think, So obviously, Ancelotti's second season, Tuchel will be fully blooded in. Obviously, Pep's going to be going for it again. Liverpool are going to reassess in the summer. Forget about Arsenal and Spurs, But Leicester, they might, if they win an FA Cup, they might make a push, Do you think Ollie comes out next season and he challenges for the league?
No.
Do you think he's got the juice like that?
Because
I feel like you're talking like Ollie's got the juice.
Wait, I never said that. And I will never ever say that in my life.
No, I said you're talking like.
United are individual brilliance FC.
Yes,
if we sign some individually brilliant players, anything is possible. But if we're signing squad players for Ollie to rise them up like he's rised up Donny van der Beek, we're in big trouble next year. I promise you.
He's on a holiday, bro. They just took him from Amsterdam to go.
Imagine.
I feel so bad for him.
He only got 7 minutes on your birthday.
And he got an assist as well. He got an assist.
Oh my days. And he got an assist.
I feel so bad for him
as well.
He's on loan from Ajax. He's going right back. I promise you. Like,
bro, I was gonna say, if I was him, I'd be texting my agent like, "Yo, like, what? Ajax still need me, car. It's looking kind of tight here. I want to get back."
I'm not starting after this Scottish guy no one knows, bro. I'm Donny. Real Madrid, what it mean,
Bro, imagine you can't get on the team ahead of Fred and McTominay. I'd pay out my own contract. I'd be like, God, I'm gone. Like, I need to leave.
I genuinely want to do a welfare check on him because it's very mad how he's been treated over this past year. Like, someone needs to go to his house and just sit down and chat to say, forget football, forget the world. Like, how are you? When you see Scott McTominay, who panics when he's on the ball, you're panicking against Burnley. If you're panicking against Burnley, I don't know what else is next, bro.
Do you think Van der Beek got a cake from the club today?
No.
He didn't get one at City.
He probably come in after the game was like, "Oh yeah, it's your birthday." Like he probably said something. "Oh yeah, I just turned 24 today." Oh, bro, it's your birthday.
Nah, someone was looking over his shoulder, seeing happy birthday messages. It's like, "Bro, it's your birthday."
Bro, it's your birthday.
He come into the changing room. Before the game with a big like sash over him. You know,
a birthday badge.
Hey guys, hey Donny, why are you wearing that? Who's that for? Is that for your niece?
Did they even send out a tweet?
No.
Because they must have.
Because Arsenal tweeted Chesney and he ain't been at the club in years. So if United didn't tweet Van der Beek, that is crazy.
Should I tell you United have been tweeting, yeah? United have been tweeting Jesse Lingard. I've been seeing Jesse Lingard over maybe not the official.
You know you got to go. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Trust me.
They're like, please come back, bro.
Your question though.
Oh no, wait. They didn't tweet happy birthday.
They retweeted him saying it was his birthday.
Hey, they don't rate him. They don't rate him.
Yo, free VDB ASAP.
Come Arsenal, guy. Come Arsenal. Play alongside Party.
Yeah. You know what's so annoying?
They did 13 hours ago. They did say happy birthday.
13 hours ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's crazy.
What I do like now though is, and it's not Ollie's doing. Pogba has just forced his hand into this. Bruno is not hogging the middle no more. Bruno knows that, look, Pogba's levels as well. If he drifts in, I've got to drift out. When Van der Beek came in, he took a central position. Bruno was playing out on the left. And I feel that's to Man United's advantage. Like, you don't want to make Bruno a one-trick pony. Like, people are already sussing him out, not giving him space and stuff like that. So you need to be versatile. And I think we try to go with the approach of traditional Man United, wingers, do damage, overlapping fullbacks. But when you actually look at the players that we've got, we're more suited to keep ball. You know, when you play Van der Beek, when you play
and
Pogba,
Fred,
and Fred.
I'm not convinced by Solskjaer. I don't think anyone is yet. It's just such a weird setup. But look at how they get by. Look how they are on autopilot. Let's say, and look how they're not a million miles off. Let's be honest.
They're not. They got the best. I think after Trent and Robertson, they got the best fullback pairing in the league.
Now think about
Cancelo and Shevchenko, they're not too bad.
Think about
they're good as not. Like you did.
Think about who, Joe?
Think about holes in that. There's still holes in that Man United team that haven't been filled. So like, let's say you're gonna go for a Kane or Haaland or a big striker this summer.
They're 4 players away.
Say there's a massive gap in United's team, which is the player that plays in front of Wan-Bissaka, because he is just on his own, trying to do everything.
They're 4 players away.
And James there, sipping Rashford Greenwood out there. Whatever, it's square.
I saw him doing stepovers today. I saw him trying to lay crosses in. I said, this brother is starving. Please give him a right winger.
They just
Wan-Bissaka. Hey, you see Wan-Bissaka? Yeah, he plays right back like FIFA Street. Like, he does a mad stuff and goes nowhere. Like, he'll stand there.
But bro, he's starving. Joe's right. Like, there is no one in front of him. Like, he needs help.
When he was at Palace and he looked like an angel dropped down from heaven, he had Zaha in front of him, and it looked invincible. And when he doesn't get that kind of help at United, and I just think if you put someone there and you get a decent striker, it don't matter who's fucking in charge of Man United. That's a scary.
I'm not gonna lie. United are 4 players away. They need 1 centre back, 1 right winger, 1 CM, and 1 striker. They get all 4 of those players. If they got a Sancho, Haaland, obviously this might happen, or Kane or whatever, Varane who's leaving Real Madrid, and I don't know, a good 8 or a good 6 to play next to Pogba. It's scary. It's scary. If they get like Conrad Lamia,
Champions League on autopilot when they sacked AVB, brought Di Matteo in, and it was just like pick your own team,
Good.
and they won the Champions League. That's what United would be like. They'd just be like, okay, like ignore him. If the game's not going their way, they'll just turn it on and do what they want, and they still be top 2. But they should.
Oli,
I hope none of the
Oli's
teams
a good
happen,
motivator because all the players love him. So
because he's a PE teacher, bro.
Yeah,
like everyone loves their PE teacher.
He's a substitute teacher.
All right, guys, get the cones out, make some goals. Let's have a kick about. That's
you know what? The only thing I always like have to begrudgingly say about him is that when United play, like there's games where they'll go and play Tottenham or away, or they'll play City or Liverpool. I've never seen United not turn up for those under Solskjaer. They're always dependable in them games. It doesn't translate to Europe necessarily or games against.
They've done it in Europe though. When they came back against PSG, he's a motivator. Rob's right. He's Mr. Motivator. Like he is Mr. Motivator.
I mean, also, he's been tactically done some weird. He's tactically outdone Pep and Klopp before, and as just motivating, he actually out tactics them.
I think the one I'll give him the Klopp one, because when we played Liverpool, I can't remember how long ago it was, and we was meeting Trent and Robson high up the pitch.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, Oli has a game plan here. Pep one's easy: soak up pressure, counter attack. Dan James was playing up top at one point, but I feel like the boys' spirit comes through in those sorts of games when there's nothing else to play for. You're not winning the league. You're not winning Europe. Your Man City derby is the one that you just do for the season, like Arsenal and Tottenham. So I feel like, I don't know, you can give it to him because he's done it against Pep like twice now, I believe. But
he's got a good record against those guys.
He's got a good record.
But there's just other stuff he says, and as well, and it counts for a lot, right? You know how managers appear in press. Solskjaer is such a weirdo in press. Like he seems like a fanboy and like a referencing. It's like a bingo. He's getting paid every time he mentions the spirit of Ferguson or 99.
Oh, I don't want to park in his parking space anymore.
And that pays a lot. It still matters in this country. Like Brendan Rodgers is considered a joke in this country because of how he spoke at Liverpool. He spoke like David Brent. But actually, step away from. Imagine you never heard him speak. You'd be like, oh, he's exactly who Arsenal should be hiring next.
We were going to, but then Leicester saw that and said, "Oh, new contract."
Yeah. But the thing with Oli, I actually had a theory that me, Jude, and Jordan were discussing earlier. Has anyone noticed since COVID hit, Alex Ferguson is no longer sitting in the nosebleeds with his wife. He's actually sitting 2 seats back with his phone in his hand.
He's whispering in man's ear.
With his phone in his hand. Oli always has the iPad. Oli always has the iPad on. I messaged him. I'm not saying they're not confirmed. I'm just saying he sits a lot closer and he's never, like, the phone is always in his hand now. That's all I'm saying.
Oli, hey, take out Greenwood, man.
Bro, I'm just saying because before, Ferguson used to sit far back, you used to see him clenching his fist, getting angry. But this last season, he's just been cool, calm, collected. And you look up, the camera always just to him and his phone's in his hand. And he's like,
Oli.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Let me tell you how it's going. Oli's going in at half time when we're always conceding. He's saying, Fergie's watching you. We don't want this smoke.
So what's happening is they're going at half time. They turn on the hair dryers, and Fergie comes and says, "Listen, you managed to destroy what I built over how many years? Stop fucking about,
I built this house. He's coming like Franklin Saint. I built this house.
He's pointing at the sign. He's pointing at his name on the stand. Like, see that? I'm that man.
My stand. That's my stand.
Yeah, man pointing at Rashford saying, "Shoot, motherfucker."
The other thing I think Solskjaer talking about changing the color of banners and shit. That stuff like that doesn't help with his.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But we've just become used to. I'm just looking for the comedic value out of Solskjaer's press conferences right now. I want to know who's injured, and I want to know
that was Arsenal with fucking Emery.
That's it. With Emery, good evening.
Good evening. Yes, today we didn't play very well. Anyway, Bon Emery's.
What do you think about this Super Cup though? We need to chat about it. I'm hearing
we need to
getting like 400 mil for just accepting.
So
I want to hear Joe's perception first, but break it down, because as somebody who would not be in the European Super League, I think your perspective is more important. Like genuinely,
for people that don't know, European Super League is going to get announced. So it might have been announced at 9:30. It's going to get announced. So 5 minutes is going to get announced. allegedly. And apparently it's Arsenal, United, and Liverpool, the three main culprits, are trying to separate themselves from the Premier League and the Champions League.
Those three are not in the top 4 right now.
Exactly. So Arsenal, Liverpool, United, Spurs, Chelsea, and another team. I don't know who that team is. But 6 Premier League teams.
There's a couple of proposals happening at once. Yeah. It's like so basically, UEFA are announcing the new Champions League format, which I don't know if you follow that. It's like a 36 team.
Yeah, and it's a league.
And it's they're trying to push for England to end the League Cup so they can fit into their schedule and stuff. Because a lot of the other leagues, I don't know if you've seen, they're like 18 teams and they only got one national cup, so they can fit it in. But basically, every time that stuff changes, because you remember when Champions League used to be European Cup. If you won the league, you qualified. That was it. Every time it's a power grab. It's about maintaining the status quo and money for these clubs. And no matter what you give them, a few years down the line, they'll always want more. And that's what we're seeing.
Yep.
And so really, I don't think they ever thought it was going to get off the ground. It's been done as like a show of strength to hopefully get this stuff reformed on the Champions League stuff tomorrow or in the coming week. It's silly. And you know what, right? As someone, this has been spoken about for years, isn't it? But as like a thing to happen, there used to be that United used to be in it. Do you remember G14 or G13? There was like this little gang of like elite super clubs. When that Kenyan guy was still at Man United, it was like we got this arm of Champions League clubs that like we make decisions around here at UEFA. Like, don't forget, ignore what UEFA say. We if we don't agree, then it ain't happening. But someone in supporting a club like mine, the thing was always go on, let them, good riddance. I don't care. But from today, you're seeing that like I don't think any fans of these teams want it either.
Nope.
So removing any kind of logic about, because I think the whole idea of merit is the Premier League has broken away from the Football League before that happened, but you still get relegated to the Football League when you there's precedent there, but there's still meritocracy. Whereas this is just franchising, American, shut the doors. Like
that's the thing. Listen,
it's just these 10, 20 teams playing each other forever. And it will get very unserious and very unfun for an Arsenal or a Tottenham or whoever when you start competing with Fenerbahce every year to not finish bottom.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And this town of Conke ain't got a clue, yeah?
This is the most EDL and Brexit you'll ever hear me sound. But you see these foreigners that own these English clubs, they need to fuck off. They need to fuck off. Like, they
don't understand our culture. Yeah, they come here. They ruin our game. Yeah, they ruin our game. They spit on our tradition.
You know what I'm saying? The Glazers, that Henry prick that owns Liverpool,
Henry,
the Cronkies, fuck them niggas. Get out my clubs, man. Get out. I don't care. Can't move. Go manage your NFL teams, the LA Rams, and your fucking MLS teams. Fuck off, because you don't understand the culture. You don't care about the culture. At least with the Saudi people that think they respect football enough to not try and fuck it up too much. Yeah, they'll pump money
to build
into
a team,
but they're not trying to take it out. They want to win the Champions League. They want to, so they can say to their brothers, "Oh yeah, my team just won. What's your team won?" It might be that, but they still respect the culture enough not to try and fuck up the whole thing. These American pricks just come in there and just saying, "Oh, we can get money from this. We can get money from this to invest in our teams we really care about in the NFL." Fuck off, man. Go away. Just stay over there. So how are these America, like fucking colonialism and capitalism is so ingrained in American culture. You might even do it in football. Just fuck off. Leave us alone. We don't want you. I hate these niggas, man. Fuck off.
My big fear is that, let's say it did go through, right? And fans voted with their feet and
didn't buy tickets,
stop going to games, right?
Which they should.
Football has shown, Premier League anyway, those top clubs have shown in the last 12 months that they can function fine without fans.
Without them. Yeah.
And so what they would do after a bit of awkwardness, they would just say it was the first season. It was like, oh no, people aren't reacting to this. They just start doing the games in LA and Qatar and all that. And that would be it. It would just be on Premier League, European tour.
Actually would do it in like the LA Rams Stadium and shit like that.
And then people would fill it up because this is ultimately who that stuff is all for.
And what do you think about some of the reactions from like UEFA saying that if teams participate, players might not be able to play in Champions League.
I just want to say before
They have to do that.
we get to the
have to
UEFA
do that.
reactions, I just want to say, this is how you know Conte doesn't watch Arsenal, because if you watch Arsenal, you would not want to put them in the European Super League, because there's no universe any
We're
Arsenal
getting
fan,
sexed by everyone.
No Arsenal fan wants to watch El Nene go up against Casemiro and fucking like all these man on a fucking regular Ousmane Dembele. That we're not trying to see that. Like we're actually not trying to see that,
bro.
Like what universe? Like
you might want to see Hector Bellerin versus Alfonso Davis. Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
All that lies for us in the Super League is pain and suffering.
There's so much more joy.
I'll support Palace.
Hear me out, guys. Hear me out, Do you think in 10 years' time, when this uproar is done and the next generation come through, they would want to see it? Or do you think it's just going to be passed down to discuss from generation to generation?
It's weird because there have been attempts in the past to do stuff and it's always been met and pushed back. Do you remember the 39th game? Do you remember that whole thing of like, there'll be an extra game in the Premier League, people drawn against random sides, but that game will be played overseas. And it's like, people just say no. Ultimately, the culture, the fans, and all that just say we're not interested. It's not how it's done here, and we don't really want that. It's a money grab. Even the Premier League voted against that in the end. Like the guys at the top suggested, like, wouldn't this be a good idea? And it would be extra money. And the other clubs in the Premier League went, it's not worth it. We'd rather have our fans going to the games. And then you saw what happened with. I don't know if you've been following recently. There are just ways and techniques to chip away at the difficulty in getting this stuff done. So, like, there was a recent change in Premier League meetings and board meetings where the big six get extra power of voting. So where before,
I saw that.
Every club in the league, and they were going, well, why should who got promoted this year? Why should Fulham have an equal say as a Liverpool? And there's a degree of thing with that, but they did a very extreme version of it where it's just like, they don't get a vote at all. We don't care about them. And they'll chip away until like, it's what's it called? Death by 1,000 cuts. So 10, 20 years time, maybe later down the line, people will just be like, oh, I guess that would be a good idea. Or it'll be better than what the alternative that's offered, because of the way football's set up now. And it is like, it's not, these are the people that own in football clubs are not community leaders. They're not like local businessmen. Those days are over. So it was always naturally going to get pushed to this. And as long as there are like laws in place that will let it happen, because there's stuff about restriction of trade that will get in the way of all this stuff. And UEFA doing all those banning things, like they have to be that extreme with their reaction because they want a cut of it ultimately, which is actually the real problem here. UEFA would be happy with this if they were leading it. But because they've been ring-fenced, it's like a big deal to them and they're being a bit hypocritical. But
especially on the same day as they want to announce their fucking shit Champions League reform.
Exactly.
So talk about that as well. This statement's just come out. Shall I read it?
Yeah.
In light of today's report on the subject of a so-called breakaway league, ECA, as the body representing 246 leading clubs across Europe, reiterates its stated commitment to working on developing the UEFA club competitions model with UEFA for the cycle beginning 2024, and that a closed Super League model to which media articles refer would be strongly opposed by ECA. ECA would refer to the position adopted by its executive boards at its last Friday, 16th of April, namely that it supports a commitment to work with UEFA on a renewed structure for European club football as a whole post-2024, including proposed changes to the UEFA club competitions post-2024. With ECA support, UEFA's executive committee is being asked to endorse these commitments at its meeting on 19th of April, along with pursuing efforts to reach an agreement on the future relationships between ECA and UEFA. The ECA executive board will be convening over the coming days to take appropriate decisions in light of any further developments.
I want to just quickly answer this comment from D'Angelo Williams, right? Right, there was an uproar when the Prem was created. There was massive uproar. If you just have to read up about it, but ultimately they kept relegation. European Super League is a closed shop. And a second point is that if it's about investment, there's a current protocol in place that means clubs can't invest. We have this, what do they call it? The fair play stuff. That got enforced because it was creating unfair stuff. Man City were not in this conversation, for example. PSG were not in this conversation 10 years ago because they didn't have that type of ownership. They're not these traditional big clubs. They're artificially created. But now, the way it's set up, other clubs can't become like that because they shut the door behind them with that fair play thing. It just allowed those that already game the system to stay in that bubble, and no one else was allowed to do the same thing. So it's a rigged game, but I don't know. Look,
I think people are doing apples and oranges when they compare the creation of the Premier League to the creation of this Europa Super League.
The Premier League was a money grab, by the way. The Premier League creation was a massive money grab. It was we will do our own TV deal with Sky because and the Football League doesn't get any of the money because ultimately they're only coming to see the top league on telly. Cool. But the league system stayed.
That's the thing I was going to say.
That's what it's for.
The dissolution of the league system means havoc, and that's why I was interested in your perspective, Joe, because it means havoc on, first of all, the teams you want in the European Super League, but then when you look outside of that, everything else starts to fall down. So championship teams will start to fall down, like the ones who will never make Prem but always boss championship, they're going to start to fall.
It's weird.
League One down to like all the way down to Smithsonian League and all like semi-pro football, it all starts to collapse in on itself because the gap and the divide is getting further. So although Premier League and Champions League is a money grab, and I agree with you all who are saying that, at least it still adheres to the tiered system, which allows smaller teams to at least have a chance of getting.
And then when shit flops, when this European Super League flop, when everyone's bored and people can't buy tickets to go, and it all fucking collapses in itself, all these American owners are gonna fuck off back to wherever their teams are in America, and then leave us in a pit of shit.
Because I don't know if you noticed, the PFA came out as well and said we're not cool on this, because what will happen? Let's say Arsenal, Tottenham, whoever, whether or not they deserve it. Let's say a bunch of English clubs get into this league, right? They'll get that 400 million, and let's say if you are struggling at the bottom of that league every year with Fenerbahce or I don't know, Marseille, what will happen is that you'll spend that extra money that you've got to play with on all the best players outside of that league. So Jack Grealish, all these French talent stars, cool. And you'll probably, because you're not the best team in that European Super League, it'll be like how Arsenal and Man United have been last couple of years, where you're overpaying to get them to come to you in the bottom half of that. What will happen is that there'll be this bleeding of talent in England, which fine, but what it will mean is that players will start asking like, oh, for me to stay, I want to have that kind of money. And there's only a small league, the European Super League. And what will happen, there'll be players' wages, budgets in the Premier League and, budgets in English football will go down because, let's be honest, but so despite what people think, if your team is in the European Super League, you're going to watch it on telly. So the TV deals and the money will happen, but the TV deals for the Premier League will shrink massively, and there'll be no drip down. So what you'll see, the club budgets will go down, but the players will want the same wages. So, and then there'll be a horrible 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, until all those contracts end up where 5 years' time, every player that's not in the European Super League will be on less money than they were before the European Super League.
Okay,
so that's why the PFA are like, none of you are seeing the bigger picture here. You're actually going to end football. Like, you're going to knock a lot of people will be out of the game. Like, it won't be professional in so many countries.
Shout out to Adam Lana, by the way. He said he's a Chelsea fan, and if Chelsea participate in the Super League, he's selling his season ticket. It's very difficult. It's very difficult because obviously, if you say to me tomorrow, there's a way of Arsenal making 500 million euros so they can buy Grealish and Flipping and Haaland and whoever else you want. Yeah, that's fantastic. But
everyone else got that money in that league.
Yeah, not only is everyone else got that money, like I said, the idea of the tiered system collapsing in on itself and us not being able to find and fund football at a lower level, which is why we have so many talented players in Europe, that is what will break us apart. See what I'm saying? Like, that is why. So there's a thing right now about the fact that America is getting a lot better at football because they have put in time into spreading their league system and making it more kind of spread out so that you can find lower leagues and you can practice and you can go against people of your level, which makes you better. We would actually lose that. That's the only reason why Europe is so good at football. And we'd lose that with this European Super League. and it's just for us to watch RELLIK and Elneny get sexed. Crazy.
But all right. On the flip side, then, is there any world in which this is a good move? What are the benefits of this? What are is there any positives from this?
Arsenal getting Haaland and Grealish. Those are literally positives. That's the only time it's okay.
No.
The quality of football would be amazing.
But it would lose its special sauce because we like to see Bayern Munich versus Chelsea or whatever, because we don't see it.
So now imagine if Messi is playing Chelsea every week. So now he's just sexing them regular. Like, it's not even funny anymore because you're just tuning every Saturday to see Messi score 3 past Mendy.
Past Rudiger all the
time.
time.
Says, I'm scared as a Rangers fan as this might affect us badly.
It's a great point, right? If this is a closed shop on 4 or 5 countries, really, and then you might get the odd champion of one country, there are a lot of. You think about recent Champions League winners, Porto, Monaco got to a final, obviously out of it. There are countries out there and teams that can have a great run. Dynamo Kiev got to the semi-finals in our lifetime. So they're just out of the picture now. They'll never get a chance to have that run. There'll be a Champions League left after this. Maybe it might have a different name now without these clubs in.
Yeah.
And people will be running this whole thing about that's not a real European major trophy anymore. It will be more competitive for those teams that are left, but it's also, you'd also be like, we're not competing. The whole point of a Rangers or Celtics, for example, in Scotland, it's all about them Champions League nights and the famous nights where they've beaten these teams and they're playing them up under the lights. If that's gone,
that theme tune, come on, man.
Yeah, what is that like? Yeah, it's a selfish grab. As someone hinted at earlier, it's more just to scare UEFA into changing up their reforms and plans that they've got. But it's just it's like
so what would be interesting? Break down the UEFA reforms again. I think you spoke about.
So with the reforms, there's a 36-team league, kind of, where the top 8, whoever get the most points in the league, and the top 8 go through to the last 16?
Yeah, and but no one plays. You don't play of the 36. You don't play everybody in it. You just play random. It's a bit like it's very Nations League level of complicated.
Really,
but it's just an attempt to try and please everybody and get everybody to hang around. Yeah, because there's going to be teams, and you're seeing it now in England, right? The supposed Big Six, half of them are not going to be in the top 4 this season as it stands, right? But those people that own those clubs, the way they see it is why should we miss out on the elite competitions because we had one bad year?
Because we're not good.
But yeah, they're not interested in fair.
Competition is about.
Yeah, but because they have a seat at the table in these boards, the Premier League or whatever, they're engineering that power to go, we can fix it for us to rig the system. In Argentina, right? In Argentina, relegation is decided on season average. So let's say it happened to I think River Plate or Boca. River Plate did terribly for a year, bottom, didn't get relegated because they were okay, but they had to be bad for 2 or 3 seasons before they finally got relegated because it was just fixed to be in their favor. And that's what they're trying to work towards any way possible. If you ask for the most extreme madness, you might get met with a compromise somewhere in between that is still horrible but works in your favor. And I think that's what we're going to see here.
Yeah.
I think what would be interesting is what the top teams in the Champions League and the Premiership would look like if, let's say, this went through tomorrow and these teams absconded, because what are now the top teams in England? That's Leicester, Everton, West Ham?
One season.
But the
West Ham.
The current top four is City, United, Leicester, and West Ham. Right?
Yeah, so, and you've got deep, Rob. West Ham have enough history and heritage, that if the other teams are gone, they're right there, bro. Actually right there. It's literally Leicester, West Ham, Everton. And
you have to remember the Big Six. Obviously, the Big Six didn't exist 3 years ago. It was the top 4. Then it was the top 2.
Yeah.
And that top 2 of Man United and Arsenal in the 90s, that was only post Wenger. Arsenal won a league in the start of the 90s, but Forest and Liverpool and Everton dominated the 80s. And then, it changes every decade. But now these lot are just going, close shop. Like we're here now,
and we're not going anywhere.
Close the doors. End of it. Nothing changes ever again.
And what I hate about it, especially as an Arsenal fan, is Stan Kroenke hasn't come down from his ivory tower.
I've never seen that nigga in my life
in like a decade. No, I remember the last time I seen him. It was like about a decade ago. Yeah, I remember seeing him at the training ground, shaking hands with Wenger before he gave him the peas for Ozil, and he was like, this is a new era. I'm going to start investing in the club. And then he ran away. It went a bit tits up. I ain't seen him since. And now he's talking about vice president of the European Super League. Bro, you don't even like football. You don't even watch us regular. like what?
What is his incentive? But what is his incentive once you're in that league?
Money to invest in LA Rams, because LA Rams just got to the Super Bowl.
If he's not paying that much attention now, if he's got you into a European Super League, he never has to look at you guys again. You can finish bottom every year and he might not give a damn. It's the money's coming in.
His money's rolling in. So
stay blessed. Yeah. Like it could,
and that's why he's got Josh running around doing fucking errands and shit.
Yeah. It's gonna be whatever happens, because I don't think it's going to happen in the form that it is. I think they fought back a lot, but we're going to get a weird compromise down the line that is still like, it still leaves a bit of a sour taste. It's like, oh, this just seems like a power grab or whatever. But
do you know what's interesting as well? Even just judging by Ollie's reaction, I don't think any of the managers are going to be happy about this either.
I don't think he had a clue when he got tired.
He sort of knew, but he didn't have enough time with the PR team to prep him on what he's got to say. He was nervous to answer that question. But I don't think any of the managers are going to be happy about it either.
I don't know if the players are, to be honest. Because in theory, in theory, it sounds good. Like, cool, you play these great teams, But like you're saying, the Champions League is special because you don't do it all the time. I don't think, I think, and big up D'Angelo Williams. He said the Super League will be good for entertainment. No one wants to watch Burnley versus Barnsley. Hopefully it's TV. Honestly, it's TV off when these lower league teams play. Rather watch paint dry than dead ballers playing. I disagree. I fully disagree. Disagree.
But there is a reason why Burnley and Barnsley different divisions, by the way. But let's say
I noted that. I was thinking Barnsley ain't even in the Premier League. Okay.
Let's say they're both in the Championship for reasons. Obviously, Barnsley, by the way, play better football than Arsenal and.
Relax, sir. Calm down.
If you don't know ball, just say it, innit?
Come on, man. Come on, Relic. We haven't got to lie.
Barnsley are in the running for promotion in the Championship on one of the lowest budgets because they got a bad boy manager called Valerian Ismail, and they're playing bad boy football. But the point is, is that there is a reason that Championship TV coverage, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds per game rather than millions and stuff. That is it. Like we're not telling you to go. No one's forcing you to watch that. The point is like football doesn't exist for TV. Football was around for if you watch the games that you do, that's what demands the value, and that's why the Champions League money is the TV money is massive. That's why the Premier League TV money overseas is basically what funds the Premier League now. But the level of competition is still there. If you remove the element of competition and meritocracy, you've just devalued the whole thing. Yeah. The reason why the Premier League slaps as a global product throwing up is that the crowd, the stadiums are generally full. They have, it's any one of. We talk about a big six. Other countries don't have a big six. Even though realistically it's only one team that's or two teams that are in amongst it for the run-in. We've had 5 or 6 different league winners in the last 10 years. Nowhere else is like that, and it's because the international TV money gets split evenly. If you go to other countries, it's not. They give it to proportion. This team gets the most viewers, therefore, and only all you get left with, if you carry on that and just carry on that as they're trying to do, you're gonna get left with about 3 clubs who are earning all the money, and those clubs are like Real Madrid, Manchester United, Liverpool, and maybe 1 or 2 others, and they're just left with nothing. All they will have is money. They'll have no one left to play.
Also, D'Angelo said we no one see Burnley versus Barnsley. That sounds like a man who don't watch some of the lower league games, because some of them, are mad exciting because they're playing their level. Like you never know they can play up. Like Get Played YT says right now, if the Super League happens, we won't see miracles like Ajax, Lyon, or Atalanta in the Champions League. And that's a fact. Like
Atalanta are above Juventus at the moment, and Juventus will not qualify for the top Champions League as it stands.
They'll be in the
really.
They're in here because
history.
Because they have more money.
Lille are top of League right now, yeah. But PSG will be in the Super League because PSG have loads of money. And
that's what it is. Like Ajax,
how many ballers have
Well,
Lille
no French teams are in the Super League, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, because they all have sense and they say, actually, this is a bad move.
But you know what happened? They've just let other people take the fall. Have you noticed? City didn't back it.
City ain't said nothing. Bayern
They let everyone else. They knew what was going to happen. They let everyone else come out and embarrass themselves, and they can just say, "Told you." The only people that were like, "We'll never do it." Bayern will never do it because it's that fan-owned system in Germany. Like they don't. They understand.
Yeah. The fans own like what 51% or something.
Yeah, and if they have to find. They discover a loophole around it.
We need that.
We need
the
that.
problem is Leipzig have shown there's a way around it. So even that's not perfect. But but Germany ultimately they want to keep.
Doesn't everyone hate them because of that?
Yeah.
Germany,
well, bro, it's essentially like if KA started a team next week, yeah, and then rose that team through League 2 all the way to Prem, and like they were just dashing money at it, and like you just have to be like, right.
To be fair, Arsenal did that how much years ago? That's why Spurs hate us. We moved to North London and then said we're meant to get relegated, but like actually no, we're gonna stay in.
No, we don't fancy it.
The Leipzig thing is weird though. It's like because obviously they had the Berlin Wall drop. All East Germany doesn't have very many like big teams. So Red Bull went, I tell you what, we'll buy this team and raise them up, and we represent East Germany, like we're like the old school. And so a lot of people on that side of the country are kind of all right with it because they're like, at least we got a team up there. Yeah, and it's political, but yeah, I just think it's just football eating itself a little bit. I think, and it's not about it's only recent history, but it's not even that. It's money because Thingy mentioned Ajax, right? Obviously, them getting to the semis, I think it was a couple of years ago, was a fairy tale. Yeah. But big man, they won it in the 90s.
Yeah, so like it shouldn't be a fairy tale. They should be able to compete.
These are just giants of the game, but because they don't back it on a financial level anymore, they don't get an invite to the party. It's a nonsense.
Let me read this. Big up everyone that's inside as well. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Tax and Track 6. This one, teams who would enter the Super League get 300 million and get a W extra 4,000 for disputing other teams, and the winner gets 500 million.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
That's the only reason why they want to do it, man. It's a money grab, and I get
man. From when JP Morgan's behind the money behind it, you know the vibes, man.
I hear what D'Angelo's saying, but I also don't hear it because it's bullshit. Like in your head, you genuinely think it's really exciting to watch Barcelona, Chelsea, Real Madrid play week in, week out.
No, it's
not. But I'm saying the reality of it is not interesting.
Imagine that El Clasico every 2 months.
The only reason why it's exciting is because you don't get it all the time. It's like if you love like a special restaurant's lasagna, and you only go there like every other month, If you now start eating lasagna every week, you're just like, do you know what?
Bro,
don't even slap like that. They don't even slap like that.
I went to Christopher's in Central London, had the best brownie and ice cream ever in my whole entire life for my birthday. I banged it out now. I'm thinking, I can make this at home. It's boring, man. It's got to be the exact same thing with the football.
It's mad. Except you're now fucking up the cocoa plants growing like internationally. So now you can't even make the brownie in a year. Like you're just like, right, like what's going on?
Yeah, D'Angelo, you're right, but they would never do that.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. As I said earlier, UEFA only got this. UEFA have only come with this energy because they're being circled out of the conversation. They've had the Champions League. They changed the Champions League because ultimately they still had control over it. It wasn't the European Cup. It was a money grab, but they still had their muscle in it. And I don't know if you've been, but all the things that UEFA get angry about are all about money. So when people get extended bans for gambling stuff, that's UEFA. But have you noticed, right? FIFA and UEFA have this similar relationship that say the Premier League and the Football League did, and all that stuff. So FIFA want to do a Club World Cup that's like the Nations League. Like a tournament of all the like winners. It's just like they want to make it bigger and bigger, a bit like the Nations League, but with countries. Instead of to replace the Confederations Cup, and it's ultimately it's just like we don't care about none of them actually care about the integrity of the game. It's just that if it's going to change or it's going to get fucked up, we're in charge of it. We're going to
control the
we
mess.
sign up for TV deals and all that. And that's why the UEFA have come with the vim that they have today with these joint
60 billion. They're trying to sue man for 60 billion.
Because think of, honestly, if you're UEFA and this happens, you get this big TV deals elsewhere, and then the time comes around for the Champions League with all these other teams in Europe, by the way, who would still kind of commit to it, and it might be more exciting and competitive. But if the viewing numbers go down, the offers might go down, and so they're just seeing the money, the budgets that they're used to at UEFA just draining and falling away. Do you know what I mean? So it's money on all sides. That's why they haven't come with the same vim as they have for the racism thing, which you're right is
yeah. All black people players. You say we're no longer playing for UEFA to suddenly get gear.
Yeah,
and that's not gonna happen. So therefore, the racism thing is long. Get Played says, I'd rather watch Wycombe vs Sheffield Wednesday because it's an even playing field. But now if United versus City is on 4 times every season, is it really even a derby? It wouldn't be 4 times a season. If they're in European Super League, yeah, like they'd be playing bare, bro. They'd be playing way too much.
What do you think about teams being kicked out of the Premier League if they wanted to push this through? Like, would they just collapse everything?
I can't lie. As a fan of a team that wants to be in European Super League, if you push it through, then yeah, get kicked out, man. Like that's your own issue.
You gotta go.
Wow. The reaction, the extreme reaction, obviously is a part. Firstly about money and to some extent about integrity of the game. But I think they have to meet the super clubs vim with equal vim in order to actually like scare them away from doing it, or talk them down to a compromise. And I don't think they'd be. I don't know how well they'd be able to enforce it. Whether there'd be like trading restrictions or stuff about actually what they can and can't get away with, banning players from internationals and stuff. They might fall foul in like human rights courts and tribunals and stuff. But it's going to be very messy now because there's a lot of people who are seeing dollar signs either in their eyes or falling away, and they're going to fight either way for it. It's crazy. But to the point of Get Played, to me, the most exciting games of any league every season are the Football League playoffs. And
very true.
Now, tell me, is that the best standard of football? No, but there's real stuff at stake, and you feel it, and it's the most exciting games all season. More exciting than any game I'll watch.
By the way, if somebody talks down on Championship and League One football, I feel like you don't watch enough of it. Because if you tune in and watch it, back when I had loads of disposable time, like before I was an adult, basically, so I didn't have to like be more selective with my time. I used to watch as much football as possible. So that was the top league in every country in Europe, basically. That was like that we like the main ones, right? The ones who've been in the European Super League. But then I'd watch Championship and League One because there'd be stuff going on there, and then maybe I'd catch a team in like the second level of Spanish football because I'd be like, oh, let's see what Barcelona B are doing and that. Like the football is exciting. We just don't care because they don't have the star names that we're seeing now, and I think that's a slight on the level and the truth of what football is. Like I said, I just think these levels bring so much to the game. They cultivate players. That so many of the players that we love and rate now is because they had to go off and do their season in League One, then the Championship, and they grow through it. And once those things go, like there is no, it's either like you're either a star at 15 and then now you're playing for the European Super League at 17, or like you don't make it. Like that's what the future would be.
Can you imagine? Do you know, like if I won't do it because it's going to take too long. But if you actually broke down, let's say the England team, for example. Like a heavy percentage of the England team have all got footballing experience or learnt their trade at football league clubs. Yeah, and those clubs under this stuff, as I said earlier, the club budgets will go down because the TV money has gone down nationally because it's all just gone to these 5 or 6 clubs, and then you would no longer have academy systems they're always the first thing that gets scrapped. So you won't have the academy system to help these players learn their trade. So it's killing the international game as well, but also just the next generation of players. You have to. It would be a nonsense after a while. And again, another point here, it's like if that winner gets 200 mil extra than everybody else, if they're not idiots, because look, we've seen teams that have a lot of money more than everyone else in England, for example, and don't spend it very well and don't make use of that advantage. But if you actually put every wage bill versus where they finish the league, it pretty much matches up, right? If you have a team in that Super League that's still getting almost double what everyone else is, again, you would just end up with one team winning it every year. And then it's like, okay, now what? Now you're going to have, let's say it's Real Madrid going, okay, we want our own Real Madrid league where we just play ourselves and whoever we want to play. Like,
whoever we want to play.
Harlem Globetrotters, like, and they're left with themselves.
It's just us and Barcelona and maybe someone else and someone else.
Yeah. And then all the other clubs in the Super League will go, oh, it's a broken system. Like, oh, yeah. Well, of course it is. Like, and then they'll try to come back. But that,
by the way, after all we've said, yeah, this is not to say that yes, UEFA is perfect, the FA is perfect, all these systems are perfect. They're very fucked and they're very wrong and they're very like there's a lot that needs to be fixed with them. Yeah, but in this case, it's very much a better the devil, you know. Like that's the reality of it. Like, yes, we know UEFA has we know how rigged it is. We know that there's so much that's wrong with it. But changing systems to this, to put all the powers, because the list of the presidents and vice presidents of this European Super League is literally just the owners of the clubs. Like
they're not even like neutral bodies. It's just literally, you know what? I made this. I'm president.
It's not even like friends of the owners, so they can try and give it a blind and be like, oh yeah, it's not actually us. It's literally they just bait face come out and be like, yo, like
they said they got together. They went for a drink and said, how can we make ourselves more rich?
Yeah, all these American dons. And probably Trump was there too. I tell you what, guys. I tell you what you do.
Trump set up the meeting. I promise you.
Yeah, of course. They might have just meet in the White House, man. He's somewhere in the White House, man.
He's somewhere in the mix. I can't lie. He's probably somewhere in the mix.
Trump has his fingers in this somehow. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a team. What's everything? I'm going to buy everything. Because I can make you a lot. I can make it huge. I can make it really huge with everything.
D'Angelo says, I agree, but the game is dying right now.
Not.
I think this talk of football dying is overrated. I don't think
it's not.
Because when you look at the spread of quality, because when you look at if you look at the spread of quality, in the league, as much as back in the day, like we can say all of this, it was always growing up. It was like you're saying, Joe, top two. Like growing up when I was a kid, it was United or Arsenal. Then it was a top four again. But now, even though it's like a top six, as is evident this season, there's at least one quality player in every team. Like there's such a spread of quality in the Premiership. Like, and obviously in some teams it's not enough for them to stay up. But there is generally in every team in the top 20 Premiership team a team that could play for another one of the teams. None of the teams are that arse out that you're like, nah, they wouldn't.
Arsenal got Cedric from Southampton, and he is a good player. Like he's a good player. He's good enough. Bellerin's fucking ass.
I hear you. I get your point.
You know what I'm saying? Like Man United got Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace. Yeah. Like there are good players in every single team. Arsenal want Buendia. He's in the Championship. You know what I'm saying?
Stupid money to get him.
Exactly. We're gonna have to pay at least 40 more to get him. Like there are good players. In Championship got ballers. What's that young British brother?
Ivan Toney.
Oli, no, not him. Oli.
Where?
He's not British. Might not be British, but listen, there are players in the Championship that can play at Prem level. Like West Ham bought Benrahma. We want Buendia. Bear Man want Max Aarons. Like there's bare ballers in the Championship and the Premier League. Regardless of what, it's not just. You know what I'm saying?
And the Championship look at League One and they're like, yo, there's ballers here. League One look at League Two, like, yo, there's ballers here. Like, you need that system to cultivate good sports. But
exactly. The only thing I will subscribe to about the quality of the league right now is that it can look dustier when the actual quality is kind of leveled out somewhere in the middle. The worst teams have looked, the best teams have looked worse, but the worst teams have looked better. They've done on point. But also, you've got to remember, right now, we're 12 months into a pandemic where football has been played behind closed doors. And in order to keep to the schedule, having had 2-3 months off last year, with everyone's playing a game
every game.
The winter, and everyone's had bare injuries, and everyone. This is the worst version of football we will see right now.
Yes, literally.
The solution to that is not to just finish it off and put a shotgun in its head like a racehorse with a broken foot. Like all it is, the owners have gone, look, we ain't made a lot of money that we normally would this year. Arsenal, for example, make £1 million a home game on match day revenue, and they've lost that. And they've lost that over 38 games, or 19, 20, whatever. And then, of course, there might be a thing of like, how do we respond to this? if I'm someone that owns multiple businesses and I've gone, oh right, Arsenal's not delivering on what I'd budgeted for my other business.
Projected, yeah.
Right, let me sit down with a couple more of these men and see who are feeling the same way, feeling the same pinch, and going, what are we going to do about it? Like,
but then this is the problem when you have owners that don't love football, or owners that don't love the league, owners that don't love the history of the club at which they're at, and not even don't love it, don't respect it, because they look at it as just as a business model, where you get some football owners who see it as a business model, but also have the ambition to go on and win things and to be the best club possible, not to be the most rich club possible.
Sorry to digress, but I've just realised this is the first Tracks and Tactics where Rob Bruce has not worn a hat. The trim is fully in order, fully effective. Jeez, he's at it. I've just seen it. Wow, welcome back. Yeah, man, they just hit me there. By the way, big up, this episode sponsored by Ray and Nephews.
No, it's not. Lumos, give us some bread.
No,
it's not. Lumos, give us some bread and we'll start saying that. Feel me?
Yeah.
You know you have our numbers. Lumos,
this is Premier League pain, yeah? What I'm drinking here, Premier League pain.
All right, cool. You know what, yeah? As much as we can talk about this for probably another 2 hours, we are called Tracks and Tactics, not Tactics and European Scumbags. So let's move on. Let's move on to music because, a lot has happened this week in music.
Yeah,
large everyone locked in.
Subscribe as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. This
man's drinking Ray and Nephew and Ting. Yours. Anyway.
Huh?
So that's
at 10 p.m.
Well, listen, here we go. Perfect. You're watching the perfect analogy, right? Scully enjoying the Premier League misery is Ray and Ting, yeah?
Ray and Ting.
Scully watching Arsenal in the European Super League is going, all right, let me change that mix.
He's doing this.
It's Ray and Nephew mixed with a bottle of Magnum. Because it's like
he's doing
it's
this.
It's heroin. Relic's heroin. If I'm watching El Neni week in, week out, against
watching Casemiro and Cruz fucking play him off the park.
It's heroin. I'm doing drugs, guys. I'm doing hard drugs.
100%.
You want to leave the planet,
100%. I don't even want to know what's going on. Like I just want to
I don't know what day of the week is.
Like no way.
But anyway, cool. It's been a big week for music in England. One of our biggest exports has released an album. Mr. Anderson James Tracey.
You're so dumb.
Anderson James Tracey has released an album called Flu Game. What is everyone's opinions? Let's start off with our guest, Joseph.
I'm someone, obviously, knowing him from his grime background, over time, I've got used to the idea that he makes a lot of more broader appealing music that isn't really for me. I don't take it personally, unlike the grime scene. I don't constantly argue. I don't constantly argue and bicker with him or his own fans about it. I just kind of go, all right, cool. I remember when he was in grime. If you follow him on socials, all the music he would be playing and singing in his room or whatever, would all be American music and broader appealing stuff. It wasn't grime. So I was like, okay, evidently this is what he will want to move towards in the future. I'm sad about that because I think I can see his skill set in grime. He's amazing at it, but I'm forgive. It is what it is. Let him make what he want to make. And when that music changes your life, I also can't knock it. So 100%. when a new project comes around with AJ, I am already prepared to like, all right, I'm not going to like half of it, but let me pick out the ones I do like. And it tends to be the one where he's spitting a bit and I'm good with it. Yeah. That has been the case with this album, but what did surprise me pleasantly about the AJ album is I saw the track list, and obviously you got the song with Mabel and the song with Most that tacked on the bottom for streaming reasons.
Yeah,
like, effectively pretend they're not on the album because they're not. Track 2, which has Nav on.
Nav,
so I'm looking at the track list. I'm seeing Nav, Kehlani, T-Pain. I'm going, okay, I see what.
Okay, you know where we're going.
Them ones won't be. So baby, them ones won't be for me. Fine. The tune with Nav is actually a perfect example of AJ's skill set at his best put into that more expansive world, and let me try and mix it up with internationally. And I've been waiting for him to do that for actually quite a long time. I think
it's probably the best tune on the album for me.
And he's worked with a lot of overseas. He's worked with a lot of overseas artists over the years, and he's never quite hit that target that I think he wants to, which is exactly that sweet spot. And I think he's got it there now. It's not across the whole album, but I'm more pleased with this album, and to the extent where I've even given the stuff other stuff a chance. And stuff like the T-Pain tune. It's AJ singing, but I'm here for it.
I'm not. This is the second time.
Really? Go on,
that,
really?
no,
on.
this is the second time that AJ Tracey has had someone who sings hooks and he sung the hook. With
Yeah,
Barflies, he should have had notes singing the hook. He sang the hook. You have T-Pain, who's arguably the best hook man ever. And you said, listen, you see, T-Pain, relax. I'm singing this today. And just have man doing ad-libs and have like a little shit 8-bar verse. Like,
I had a feeling it was like a T-Pain sent a reference. And you see he has the verse at the end and kind of ad-lib. So maybe AJ has written around that if you're being super cynical. But yeah.
No, AJ wrote it and sent it to T-Pain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't T-Pain sing the hook? Answer me the question.
Because AJ likes to subvert.
Listen, I can't lie.
Oh, you expected him doing the hooks. So what we do?
Listen, yeah. Public service announcement for all the British rappers. Yeah, stop fucking singing. You can't sing. You men are all signed to major labels. If not, you have network. Go find a fucking singer to sing your hooks. I'm tired of Stormzy making great tracks into good tracks because he's singing. I'm tired of AJ making great tracks into good tracks because he's singing. If you're not J Hus, don't do it. Stop singing. I'm tired of it. Stop. You're fucking up your music.
I'll be honest.
Right now,
deep in.
Right now, it's whimsical. It's nice, cool. 10 years, we're gonna go back and go. Oh, we're hearing that hook. It's like, what was you doing?
Correct.
Like, stop. Make some timeless music.
I'm not mad at that assessment.
Is my shit.
I hear that. I have to hear that.
Fuck with Top Dog. Yeah. Why is he singing?
I can't remember. I can't lie.
Get Javon. Javon would have been perfect for that. Are you crazy?
I can't remember the T-Pain tune. I can't remember it. I'll be honest. It's not sticking. It's not sticking for me. It's not sticking for me. But the Nav tune I loved. I like the track with Sar Baby and Millie Go Lightly, and I actually like Sar Baby.
Who's the girl on it?
Millie Go Lightly. So she did the track with Young Thug. She did the track with Young Thug time ago. The album, sorry.
She should never rap again.
Pretty Girls. I can't remember the Young Thug album. It was like Young Thug's country album.
No, but she should never. No, she shouldn't. I mean, did you hear the verse?
No, I like that song. I feel like I'm the only one.
I didn't like
but I liked it. But one thing I will say, yeah, AJ is so talented.
I get lyrics.
Whenever I listen to his music, like Joe's saying, yeah, I listen to him. I'm like, bro, this guy is mad talented. But the music, I don't know what it is. It's not like, I don't know, like it's not. And maybe it's because I expect something from him because I know him from older days. But I'm happy with this album. I like it more than his last album.
Yeah,
but I still feel like there is another gear AJ can go into. So I listen to Anxious, I listen to Cool Coach, all of this, and I was like, yo, he's going in. Like, and I like it. But I still think there is a level AJ can tap into that goes beyond this.
And listen to what I'm saying here. I hear exactly everything you're saying about that. And I feel this was a very, I don't even want to call it experimental because it was one thing, if that makes sense. Whereas sometimes we'll hear this sort of track, that sort of track, this sort of track, that sort of track. But this, as a project, I'm not mad with at all because I love when artists try something or they get creative or they try to get into another bag. And you never know, doing this and going through this process might make the next release that top class that you want, that you're talking about, that next gear.
I hear it.
But sometimes you can't just jump from 1 to 10. Like, you have to go through the motions. But he's going through the motions on this big scale, and I feel like his hits allow him to do that.
He's got a core fan base. Whatever we think, he's got a core fan base.
We saw that streaming list, all the tracks that he's been on.
It's going to number one.
He's been involved in 6 platinum.
He's going to number 1.
It must be, bro. He's streamed 117 million times.
Look, we're in a place now.
It's a release.
Yeah.
What, this album streamed 170 million times.
He just tweeted it, yeah.
Madness.
Crazy. And it come out on Friday.
He's got a big fan base. See, but
this is the problem though, because his talent and his fan base garners or deserves better music. Like he should have an album that sits with Psychodrama and Heavy is the Head.
I hear what you're saying.
And fucking what's J Hus's one? Common Sense.
Right, let me hold you there. Let me hold you there. As you're saying that it should sit with those albums, does it sit with those albums for his fan base?
No,
probably, but they probably think he's probably the best rapper in the world.
You don't think it does, Joe?
I think I think AJ fans love AJ, and I think they'll love the songs that they love. I don't think they'll be talking about this album as a classic, because as much as it's what you said about it being one thing, it's not as all over like pinball styles as the first album was. But it's still halfway between that. It's still like there's something that sounds a little about this, and I'm slowly like.
He's got a Little Baby song. He's got a Gunna song. He's got a Drake song.
And if you're into that stuff, cool. I guess I just I think the sort of people that signed up for AJ Tracey from Butterflies are not gonna like half the stuff on there. If you signed up for AJ Tracey on Tiago Silva, you might like one or two songs.
You're far from
and the thing is about AJ, because he knows he's got people that like him for all these different things, he might get. I think he's going to get in his own head and carry on trying to please everybody all the time, in the name of being versatile. And as we've seen from Chip, as we've seen from let's say Bonkers from way back, who was trying to do all these different styles. Ultimately, it doesn't work on a project. It never.
Even Drake, who's the best at it. Like
albums.
Drake's albums are
split projects.
Yeah, like you, the fallibility with Drake is that you've got so many pockets you need to hit. Like Joe's saying, it's hard to please everyone. I will say though, like I said, this is a AJ album I actually enjoyed more than I thought I would. Yeah. I saw the track list and I said to Joe and RELLIK, I was like, I'm not sure about this. I'm a bit scared, but I really like Kukoc. I really like Eurostep. Surprisingly,
I like Draft. Was it Draft Day?
You know Eurostep. AJ produced Eurostep.
I really enjoyed it. Do you know what's funny? I was thinking the other day. Yeah, I was thinking the other day. I'm like, because I remember when him and Zoo both started producing. I was thinking
he announced that he was, and then he went a bit quiet. Like he did a couple of big Zoo tunes. I think he produced one thing on his last album, but it all went quiet. Like he wasn't doing it for anyone else. And then he's obviously just got his head down and got on with it. So I like that. I always salute people for trying that, because that's.
And I really like Eurostep, and also surprisingly, on paper, I don't know, when you play this song, it doesn't sound like something I would like. Like I feel like if you played the song to RELLIK and Joe and you ask people like, yo, like, is this a song Scully would like? People would be like, no, but I actually like this latest single, Little More Love. Like I really like it. I don't know why.
Why wouldn't you like that though?
I don't know, I don't know. Like I just feel like it's not a song for me to like, but I do.
I liked it, yeah.
Like I don't know why.
Do you know what that sounds like?
I like 9 songs on this album,
sounds
so I can't even chat shit.
Yeah, like it is a good album. It's a strong album.
That Little More Love, sounds like we've just been on a journey on the whole tape, and this is the one to round it off. Although it doesn't even sit at the end, it's just got that nice feel. This is me. I'm AJ Tracey. Thank you for coming to the show. Yeah, and I reckon that one's gonna run as well. Like,
but guess what?
It's just nice.
That needs A&R in for sequencing, but I bet he doesn't have one of those. I bet it's just him and the man in the studio.
I feel like
AJ, that hook was sick you did, bro.
I feel like it is a good album. Like you said, RELLIK, you like 9 songs on it, so it must be good. I want to see how we feel about it in a year or two, but I wouldn't say he's like going downhill. I'd say he's getting better, because I didn't really like. I picked my songs.
Yeah, it's a slow climb.
Yes, because I picked about probably 6 songs from AJ Tracey that I loved, and I went back. But that being said, I went back before this album dropped. I went back and listened to Secure the Bag, and I was telling these guys, I was telling Rob and RELLIK, I was like, bro, like, I don't think I loved Secure the Bag when it came out. I thought I just picked songs, but now I listen back to it, I'm like, actually, like, this project was good. Like, it's hard. Like there's only one song on it that I'm unsure about now. Like, but when it came out, I was very unsure. So maybe it's that he changes, and in the time we're a bit like, I don't know. But as time goes on and everything else around us changes, we're a bit more like,
he's worn us
down. That made sense. Yeah,
he's worn us down.
No, not worn us down.
All right, question for you.
I think he's put out a lot of projects, AJ, for his age mates.
Yeah,
he's put out more projects in all of them. And
has he?
Which is why I think how many EPs AJ Tracey's put out. That's the reason why. That's the reason why he left all of that grand generation in the dust. Obviously, he was top of the class with them, but he was putting out music every 6 months, EP, working with mad people, and it'd be a whole mixed bag of stuff. But he was putting out music, and ultimately, what left a lot of that generation of that scene behind is that they were. I'm a bad boy on sets. People rate me, but then none of them were putting out any fucking music.
Do projects like
I had a roundup show on the radio. And by 2019, like, I was getting like 2 new songs a week from the whole scene, and they might be shit. I was like, well, what? All these people I rate are not putting out any tunes. AJ was knocking them out.
For like, Ken Dixon and Tommy B.
Yeah. So all right, listen to this, guys. Listen to this. Yeah, you said he's on a slow climb.
Incline,
But let's
yeah.
go with two of the ones that we always say top 3 that have dropped projects. Common Sense to Big Conspiracy. Which did you prefer? Gang Signs and Prayer to Heavy is the Head. Which did you prefer?
I think J Hus is on.
Common
I
Sense.
think. Nah, for me, I think J Hus is on a harsh incline. I think every time I hear him, he gets better, and I'm just shocked. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how is this guy?
You think
still...
that
But
Big
projects, I'm
Conspiracy
talking
better
projects.
than Common Sense?
as an album, yeah. As an album, yeah.
Big Conspiracy was a better album.
Yeah,
But,
it's a grown album.
Here's the thing: the problem with Big Conspiracy why it hasn't got its recognition for some people is that it wasn't more of the stuff we liked on Common Sense. I like Fisherman and Friendly. Like I appreciate that if you came into that album wanting more of that. I was surprised that Big Conspiracy sounded like it was. It sounded like
It's so grown.
it sounds like 31-year-old Hus album.
I was about to say, yes, Radio 2 music. I want you to cap.
I fucking love that. But
Yeah,
I
same.
can appreciate that it wasn't what people were turning up expecting. But you can't argue. Like I think it was the best album last year alongside Wizkid's album. Like against
Same,
I'll put that
100%.
against anything. But yeah, I would put Big Conspiracy over Common Sense, and I preferred Gang Signs and Prayers to
Same.
I think everyone does.
But I think
content-
it's a mark of different things. I think it's a mark of different things. I think Stormzy was growing internationally. I was like, I want something everybody can hear a song from and enjoy. Whereas Hus has always been head down. I'm just gonna make music, enjoy it how you enjoy it. And I think, like we were saying, like George said, I think Common Sense is a collection of
Maybe
great
Dave.
songs. It's an album, but it's just a collection of great songs. Whereas Big Conspiracy, start to
There was
finish,
some
is
synergy.
it's a proper
cohesive,
album.
Yeah.
I still hate
Like,
the
I
start
haven't
of
heard
that
a proper
album.
album like that.
I still hate the start of that album.
What helicopters in that?
No, the
What?
music is good. I just because the first 4 tracks are like one song. I don't like it.
Sort of blend.
Oh,
But,
that shows the sequencing is elite, bro.
No, it sounded like I didn't. It was good, but it just
They were
all the
different
same
enough for me. They were
BPM,
different enough for
all
me.
the same beat pattern. It wasn't, but you know.
Well, you know, I guarantee the next Hus album that we're getting this year will be.
It's gonna
an
be nasty
improvement.
rap.
It will be an improvement on both of his
Listen,
last.
that CB tune already.
Bro, he's come to just rap. Because what he did with Big Conspiracy is like, yo, this is how I make grown art, yeah. And I feel like this one is like, yo, okay. Like Joe said, the last album, that's 31-year-old music, but bro, I'm still a 24-year-old tug. Yeah, he's me on some
I'm
drill
about to
beat.
show you that.
He's me rapping. I'm just gonna beat it up. Like, let's go.
And we could let's. So a lot of names have come up and a lot of points, right? So the Brits are coming up, okay, and
Yeah.
the only album from UK rap, it's a very well represented Brit Awards these days. The only one that's up for album of the year, which is their biggest award, is Big Conspiracy. Not no Heady album, not any of that. It's Big Conspiracy. Dave, I think, won that album and he did very well to get in there because it was a tight concept and it was a very well worked piece of work.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem for me as a music lover, maybe I'm a little bit older, in UK rap right now is that there's no question that the talent is there. AJ, Mostak, Miss Fredo, all when they are doing their thing well, I think no one can chat to any of them, and I think it's great fun. But they are I never get the impression that they lock themselves away and don't worry about what everyone else is making and where the money is and stuff. I get the impression from all of them and the singles and the radio singles that they do and the stuff and the big sample. I thought, post streaming, when all this like you could do what you want if you're independent, or we can chart making our music.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why you'd make us say Funky Friday or something like that and then go, okay, let's just carry on doing all the major label fun bubbly bullshit that we were told we were forced to do. Now we're doing it because we just want to. And none of that has any legacy. Like,
but to be fair, Funky Friday going #1, it's an outlier. And the funny thing is, to tie it full circle, is it goes back to what we were talking about with Arteta, yeah? Like, cool, you can risk it. You can risk it, yeah, and you can do it. Like we've seen it happen before, but it's still a risk. And do you want to take that risk of falling on the sword?
Do you want to take that risk?
But guess what? Scully? To your point, you're right. But guess what? What they have made since that is meant to be more appealing to the chart has not banged either. It's not. It's gone on.
As in Fredo and Dave.
Fredo, Hickory Dickory Dock.
Everyone named.
Stop. He even said that Hickory Dickory was shit.
Exactly.
Fredo, that's why I respected Fredo for saying that. Although he did then go and make another couple of tunes like that after he said that. But that's by the by. Because
no, but then the Fredo album was very much.
So
this is what I want to do.
So when he said, "Oh, Hickory Dickory was terrible," that was the second time he said, "I'm making bullshit music at the moment. I don't want to do it." He'd said it the year before, and then brought out more music like that. So
okay,
you can take it with a pinch of salt. But there are so many people who have made like the catalogs are insanely bad. So let me speak up, right? I'll put my neck on the line because I like all these guys, but none of the albums are classics and stuff. The Brits, I couldn't believe. I think it's the worst best single category on the Brits of all time. AJ and H Rain is a horrible record. Fucking Heady, AJ and Stormzy Ain't It Different is an average record.
Camille's coming for you. Just saying, Camille got to come for you.
But no, I know all of them. Everyone rates all of them. You're a liar. You're a liar if you don't rate all those guys. But because they are, you just have to be popular. Once you've shown your talent level and you're popular, you just.
When that song was announced, yeah, I thought all three of them would be trying to spin the other one. I thought they'd look at each other, and they'd be like, "Yo, this other guy is also the guy, so I can't lack. We are all going on spinners." When it came out and what I heard, I was like,
It's pop rap.
Exactly.
Man, just stepped in the game.
And that's what it's got to, right? Is everyone is on this? We're making We Made It rap.
Yeah, it's literally that.
Everyone patting themselves on the back. And actually, if you were to go on, because it streams well, because they're all popular, it's considered, a lot of these commercial award shows is done by numbers. So of course you've got from the three biggest guys in the game, it's gonna do bigger numbers than all of their individual tunes. But anyway, the point is that like fucking. I just don't
spin each other. I want to see murk each other. I want to see Billy.
You know what? The
only person who does it is Millions. Millions says, "Friend or not, I'm coming on your track and I'm taking your fucking head off."
Well, there's another guy who used to do it. He had a good year like Millions, but we don't talk about him no more.
But do you know what? Right? It takes time, and I think people are rushing to go international and big rather than actually enjoying their bag for a bit and building. Dave, right?
Do you know what I think? Yeah.
Wait. What's saying? Wait. So go on.
In theory, right? Dave and Mostak, No Words, is actually the most kind of commercial sounding Dave record ever. But do you know how low that charted and how long it took to climb up to like top 10 eventually, and then it fell away?
More than location.
Well, location's now in that conversation afterwards, but obviously back then
at that time,
at that time, okay.
But then you think about what was what's the most like? I'm thinking of like credible songs that went top 5 in this era. Dave and Heady won when Dave went absolutely nuts. What's it called?
Blind. 1800.
Dave does it as well. No, Dave does it because Dave took Gig's head off twice.
Yeah, that was a top 3 record.
Oh, I said that.
So that's true though.
Okay.
All right,
don't run scared. Don't run scared.
You just caught yourself red-handed. Come back on, bro.
Yeah, like those kind of tunes can chart that high and do that, change people's lives. That was Heady's high five at that point. But people want to do. I guess it's whether it's their lifestyle. Maybe it's too much. It's just champagne and fun and life and like, we're living good, so we're gonna make living good music.
The fun tunes can be good though, because you brought up No Words, and even though No Words didn't chart the highest in that, but you said it's commercial sounding tune, that song was fucking good. Like that was like a great time.
But instead, you get everyone else doesn't like. Considering all these men watch each other,
Relic, fuck off, man.
considering all these lot watch each other and how they move all the time and copy them or whatever. None of them copied No Words. They all copied these like, we're going to do a big Whitney Houston sample or a big Tony Braxton sample or a bigger Kiss 100 like dance. Classic special. Someone's going to sample Show Me Love Again in the next 2 years, and it's going to be like Millions and Mist, and we're just going to have to go. Yeah, well, this is what we want, Team UK. When really we want them to do absolute crud together.
Spin each other, Come to the booth with bullets. Try and take each other's head off. Make the best possible song. Make a song that you want to listen to. I feel like a lot of these artists are making songs that they wouldn't listen to themselves.
Exactly.
And I'm just thinking, like, who is this for? Make a song you want to hear.
It's just about expanding their fan base, then solidifying that expansion they get with that first kick up.
It's music. It's music. Music as a business.
What I was going to say about the Brits,
yes,
is say the Brits nominations is not necessarily going to be on what's the best song, but for the panel, and I know they got a wide ranging panel, it's going to be from the song the panel knows the most, if that makes sense. So it's different markets and what they're trying to achieve with the people they're trying to target. Some people like Dave, who's just streamed ridiculous amounts with his last 2 releases, his core fan base are carrying him enough to do whatever he wants to do, if that makes sense. But a lot of these artists who are big to us, their core fan base is not carrying them enough when they do their own thing that they want to do.
You say that, but this is what I find so interesting because, like I said, I'm going to use AJ, but like I actually like AJ's album, but AJ could have 12 Kukoches. He could have 12 Kukoches and his fan base would love it.
And people would be today talking him up as like, what? As like, oh, is he the best in the scene? Like there'll be that kind of conversation. Top tape. Yeah. You move from B to the top table, which is because to me at the moment the top table in terms of what they've achieved, and also we know the talent level is out of that younger lot in Dave Huss, Stormzy. There are probably guys that can outbar them. There are probably guys that can outsell them. But in terms of the nice marriage of the two, it's only those 3 at the moment. And if there are people who have more talent than that could get into that, but they don't seem interested. Whether it's because they're independent and they're trying to how do I just expand? How do I do that? But Rob's got a point about. Rob might have a point about can their fan bases carry them, but give them a reason to carry you.
But that's why people have started loving off Central C, because they feel like the music is like it's good, but it's commercial, but it's not forced.
It's not forced,
Artists like that will keep coming through because they'll not find what they want from the people we put on these pedestals and be like, all right, cool. Like, who's a new guy who's giving it a bit more of what we want to hear? And it's an interesting one, man. With AJ, like I said, big up Flu Game. I'm happy.
Round of applause, blood. Like real talk, because I spoke to you lot. This album to be good. We all wanted this album to be good.
Yeah. We all spoke and we were like, we hope this album is really good. Yeah. And I feel like it's definitely good. We need to see how AJ is definitely. He'll probably go number one, but he's done his thing. He's done his thing independent again as well. And the marketing, I think, is really good as well.
70 million streams in 4 days. I feel sick.
Yeah. But look,
that's ridiculous.
I don't think it will be classic conversation, but I'll take gradual improvement, slow improvement over decline. And a lot of other men I feel like are if they're at best just walking on autopilot at the moment, and they're not improving at all, given what we built up to them. And I think AJ, with this album, has shown he's at least working against that.
Yeah. So for now, we need the Dave album, we need the Millions project now. We do. Who else do we need to hear from? With another Stormzy album, but he can wait. To be fair,
what does the Millions project sound like? Where he's not.
I feel like if he gets into like a storytelling bag, I think that it would be really good.
Yeah, I like
if he gives us some perspective. If he gives us some perspective and breaks down where he's come from, obviously he's told us what he does and what he's been involved in. But when he breaks down where he's come from and I want to be able to visualize what he's saying when he's rapping. I want to hear him tell me about a time where he's ducked from feds, or he's given food to a kitty and he was at some dirty bando in Brighton or something. I want to hear those stories from him. You know what I'm saying?
I think we need from Millions. I think you're right. We need storytelling, but we need just that introspective bag. And I feel like Meeks Mally is the next person to break through, by the way. And
is it?
What Essential C's done. I mean, he's doing the numbers anyway.
Yeah, he's doing the numbers. But
I feel like we don't talk about him in the same way we do, like, for example, Essential C or
London Central. We don't know him.
Is that also because he doesn't pump out music as much?
As frequent.
I feel like he put his project out last year, or maybe even the year before now, and then just did a couple videos for it, but it's just like taking a back seat now.
Yeah, but maybe next cycle we'll see.
D'Angelo Williams says Dave and AJ are gifts to the music game. Introduced to UK drill because of Top Boy. Don't know the history behind it, but it's wavy. And now I'm understanding that D'Angelo, you are American.
Fam.
Are you D'Angelo? Are you?
You know what's funny, yeah? Americans just got introduced to Pete and Baz yesterday, and I think it's hilarious. They're like, oh, this is what UK drill should sound like. Fuck off.
Right, by the way, if we're talking about the Top Boy, obviously there was a Top Boy soundtrack, and then there was the music inspired by Top Boy. That album had the best AJ Tracey tune of the last 3 years.
Wait, hold on, Joe. I agree with you, yeah.
It was called Elastic.
Yeah.
Elastic's good, yeah.
And you know what? It was produced by by TSB.
TSB. Now look at my on repeat. Can you see the little
can be done.
on repeat on Spotify? Yeah. Second tune, Elastic, AJ Tracey. That's how much I bang that tune. It's so good. Like
from Haiti.
From Haiti. Yeah, shout out my Haitians, man.
Cheese, large
big up you, D'Angelo.
You know what I mean? That version of AJ that is like moving forward with the times and expanding, he still can make that and occasionally sprinkles it, but he buries them. So he buried it on this Top Boy project.
He buried Migos.
Migos, yeah.
Migos was a great track. Put it on his
Migos, Elastic, Kukoc. That's what I thought AJ would sound like.
And a fucking another one last year, Black and Proud with Unknown T. If you don't know that song, go check it out. Buried it on a Rock Nation fundraising.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like, it's almost like I have these and I know they're amazing, but I can't put these on my projects. They don't fit. So someone else, you want them to
do it. I honestly think he just likes to stretch himself. Because even when I did an interview with him, he's like, look,
everyone go watch that.
Go that way. Yeah, everyone watch that interview. He said it can go that way, but I'm a family guy now. I don't want to, but if it goes that way, it can go that way. He's musically explorative. I don't know what the word is to describe it. You know, when you're curious, like you like the different sort of sounds, and you want to try your hand in that eclectic taste and whatnot. So that's why anything he gives us, I could never be mad at it because I know he's always trying something. Whereas some people will sit comfortably in their lane that's been successful for them and churn that out. So you might have to take a few hits with that, but down the line, you could get that smash in that explorative nature.
Well, this is it.
Let's be honest. At least he's talented enough, that he still gives us good tracks with it. And some people do it and they're not good. Like
he keeps the dogs fed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he does. Yeah.
And bear in mind, we could equally. It's a mark of his skill set and ability that we still give a shit because there are a lot of people who they were trying the similar things and stuff, and then maybe it wasn't working to our taste. You just go, all right, that's not my artist. That's not my type of artist anymore. Cool. You move on. No one really moves on from AJ Tracey, which is kind of
and I'm very happy about that, man.
Which is kind of the biggest endorsement you can kind of give of him and his art.
Man. Yeah. But large up AJ Tracey, man. We're happy for you. Congratulations. I saw your PR thing today. Look, all the kids all like lining up around the corner. Large up to you, man. Like real talk.
Hey, listen,
this is about to hit 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? So
flu game basketball game Tuesday. London Lions. You can sign up to be a part of that basketball game now via AJ's Instagram.
I can't hit a ball. You know what I'm saying? But
I'll see you there. Yeah, you'll see me on court. I've got handles. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, round of applause for Scully as well for his little rhyming verse on Enemies.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, Enemies, we hear you.
We'll talk about it next week. We need more time.
We'll talk about next week, yeah?
We'll do it next week.
Yeah, no, Scully needs a respect for me. He needs a respect for me.
I've cut that bit off my edit that I've got.
Don't worry, Scully.
He don't want me to get the PRS. He don't want me to get the PRS, you know? I understand. Call me PRS Scully, man. That's right. It's coming.
Listen, Joe, give them your socials. They can follow you, blood.
Ojo Walker, OHJOE Walker. I think it's the second time now I've come on and noticed that you guys do that. My name on there.
Selfless self-promotion.
Yeah, man. We ain't got no songs of the week this week because we had to talk about the European scumbags. We'll be back next week, 7:30, back with Alex because Alex was, Alex is Mr. New Show. He's probably had a new show. He's in Manny. He's on his way back.
Filming or some shit.
Filming some shit. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be back with our brother Alex next week. Thank everyone for coming and all that. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for watching. And we appreciate all of you. Go drink some water.
Like, subscribe, meet us back next week. All of that sort of stuff.
All that good stuff.
Peace.